The Denver Nuggets roster gets weaker every year, and a lot of people thought Nikola Jokic was crazy for wanting to play with Russell Westbrook this season. Jokic doesn't really get involved in what the front office does, but he said, I want to play with Russ. And now we're starting to see why. Let's have a look at what's been going on. We're going to break down the film in this video, as we always do. We're going to talk about defense, scoring, playmaking. But first, here's a few interesting bits of statistics.
Man knows trigonometry, algebra.
In case you guys like numbers, we'll be quick with this. Jokic in the last two games had 56 points, then 48 points. Jamal Murray in the last two games was out injured. Russell Westbrook started the last two games, and he had 7 points, 12 assists, 4 steals, and 1 block to go with it, along with 10 rebounds. And then he followed that up with 9 points, 11 assists, 2 steals, and a block in the second game that they played. Why is that interesting? Because there are some people out there who might be crazy for saying that Russell Westbrook should be the starting point guard of the Nuggets, because Jamal Murray has been extremely disappointing ever since he signed that max contract. But I'm just going to break down the footage, and then you guys can let me know in the comments whether you think Russ should be the starter, and, you know, if Denver really has some serious things to figure out. Because with Russell Westbrook as the starting point guard, the Denver Nuggets are 4-1. As a starter, he's averaging 14.2 points, 8.4 assists, 5.2 rebounds, 2.6 steals, and he's shooting 52% from the field. We're going to break down some of the game play, okay? Especially the relationship between Jokic and Westbrook, because Jokic is averaging 18 points a game just off Russell Westbrook assists in the past 2 games. So when everyone says Jokic doesn't have any help, well, I mean, Russ is helping him get 18 points a game. Even though he's scoring 50, 18 of them coming from the boy Russ. So let's break down this footage, okay? He absolutely clamped up Trae Young, and Trae Young had one of the worst games he's had in a real long time. I think when Russ was guarding him, he only scored 1 point, or was it 3 points? Either way, after scoring, what did he score against the Lakers? 31 and had 20 dimes. It was a reality check from the OG Russell Westbrook, letting the young point guards know he's still the big dog. Okay, so let's have a look at what he did. This first possession early on in the game, okay? First thing, we talked about this in the video about the Lakers. If you haven't seen that, please go watch that. But he goes around the screen. Most players just die on screens now. They just give up and they switch. But instead, Russell Westbrook gets around. He stays with Trae. What they do here, I think they call it ice or blue or whatever, is you want to send the pick and roll ball handler to the sideline, because the sideline then acts as another defender. This man is going to shift down, obviously. But then Westbrook will work with Jokic to trap Trae Young. Okay, as that comes out, look, they're trying to trap him here. Russell Westbrook does a great job. And you can see Russ kind of trying to reach around to poke the ball free there. It doesn't quite work, but it does force Trae into a turnover, okay? Not every defensive possession that's good is going to end in a steal or a block. Here we go again. Russell Westbrook being active from early, gets through the first screen. And I want you to just watch Russell Westbrook and just how active he is. The way that he's constantly staying on his feet. He's swiveling his head between Russ and the ball to see between Trae and the ball to see what's happening, okay? Forget what's going on. Forget what's going on down here. Just watch these two up at the top, okay? He goes over the screen again. He gets a handful. That's kind of crazy, Russell. But he gets around, back to Trae, and he does enough to rush Trae into the pass, and Jokic manages to tip it away. Denver have never been a great defensive team, but with Russ bringing the energy and the effort necessary, they're doing great things. Here, off the inbound pass, he gets round the screen again, gets round a second screen, and this is where you have to pay attention to the close details, okay? He's chasing Trae Young. Now, Trae Young is a player who would typically come here and then rise up for a shot because he thinks he could bait a foul off of Jokic. But here he doesn't, because Russell Westbrook puts a hand on Trae Young right here to let him know that he's behind. And if he tries to rise up for the shot, Russ, being a taller player, will be able to block it. He's got the separation from Jokic, but that's enough, because Jokic, again, in the passing lane, great with deflections. Did he deflect that with his face? Yeah, he did. But either way, Denver get the ball and they come away from it. Okay, look where Russell Westbrook is over here. He's on the three-point line at the top. The ball here is going to become a scramble. Look, they're trying to fight for possession, Who's the one diving on it and getting a possession? That's Russell Westbrook, forces the jump ball. He's one of the older players in the NBA, and he's managing to make these effort and these hustle plays. Okay, once again, guarding Trae Young. Trae's got the ball in his left. He's got his body position here. He's going to force Trae into the crossover where there's defenders waiting. Okay, Trae has to give the ball up. Russ goes around the screen, stays with him. Okay, Okongwu thinks he's got a clear lane to the hoop, but Russell Westbrook says, I'll protect the hoop as well, and swats that the hell out of here, doing a great job on defense. This time, Trae's not in the game, but Russell Westbrook is doing a great job. He's not even worried about Garrison Matthews. He's looking at what the ball handler is going to do because he's looking to make a pass, but there's really no passes on. So Russell Westbrook jumps the lane, gets out there and throws down the dunk. So let's look at some of Russ's scoring as we're here, okay? The thing about Russell Westbrook is they don't respect him as a three-point shooter. He's on the three-point line here, and Dyson Daniels is in the paint, not even guarding him. And not even guarding Aaron Gordon because they don't respect that. But the corner three is an easier three. So what does Russell Westbrook do? Is he's just going to close the gap and go up to the hoop. Look, he just uses his speed to explode to the hoop. Great pass from Christian Brown. And he closes the gap. It's about being active off the ball. Now he's made that one layup. This time, he's spaced in the corner. Remember I told you the corner three is easier than the wing three? He catches the ball. But what I love about it is people who are like quote unquote bad shooters, they often get the ball and they kind of think about it. But he's not hesitating at all. He's catching the ball, landing. He lands with a nice little jump stop. Like you can see, look, he lands, springboards up, and he shoots it. The form is clean. He knocks it down. He's been working on it. Shout out to Russ. Here again, you're going to see Russell Westbrook. He's over here. He's going to kind of go to the corner. He's going to disappear off your screen. You're not going to see him, but it doesn't matter because we all know Dyson Daniels is one of the best defenders in the NBA, but most of his steals come from things like this, where he will attack that to try and steal the loose ball. So Russell Westbrook will see that, and he will cut straight to the hoop from the corner. This is where it really helps having great playmaking teammates, and that's an easy, wide open dunk for Russell Westbrook. This time with the ball in his hands, he's got the pick and roll going, and he's going to get into his playmaking back. He loses control of his dribble, but that's okay. He takes the dribble to the baseline, and look, most players, as they drive baseline here, they'll be thinking about taking this shot. Instead, look at Russ's eyes. He's surveying the floor. He sees Michael Porter Jr. is making this cut right here. Dyson Daniels is caught between two because you've got to stay with Jokic. You've got to go with Michael Porter Jr. What's he going to do? He tries to split the difference, but it's too late. Russell's already made the dime to MPJ. Look at Russell Westbrook, okay? Look at him directing traffic from the baseline out of bounds. As this play unfolds, you'll notice that Aaron Gordon has got the seal on this defender. Okay, he's got inside basket position, so he can go straight up. Russell Westbrook over here is going to say, yo, AG. He's going to point right at the spot. Easy pass off the inbounds. Gets in and one opportunity. Pick and roll with Jokic. Okay. This is just great passing from Russ. They're playing in a drop coverage with Capella. Most players here, point guard position, would shoot the basketball. Russ ain't going to do that, but he also knows he's got Jokic, one of the best players in the world. In fact, maybe the best player in the world. He's there, and he's got the size advantage on Dyson Daniels. So Russell Westbrook is going to put the beautiful bounce pass. Look, there's 4 Hawks defenders over here, but he puts the ball in the perfect position for Jokic to catch it, and that's a nice assist between these two. In fact, while we're talking about the assists between these two, right, Westbrook to Jokic in the last 2 games. Shout out to JD Jackson who tweeted these stats. Total passes 128, passes to Jokic 63. Jokic has made 26 field goal. He's attempted 26 field goals from Russ's passes. He's made 14 of them. He's shooting 61.5% on them. Russ assists in the last 2 games, 23 to Jokic 16. So over the last 2 games, Jokic has scored 36 field goals off passes from Russ. Shout out to these guys. So let's keep having a look at how this all goes. Okay, this time though, before we do that, look at this. Larry Nance Jr., this should be your rebound. Russell Westbrook is much smaller than you. That should be Larry Nance Jr.'s rebound. Russ is using his strength, uses one arm to corral the rebound. We know he's a great rebounding guard. We're not going to talk about that. And just look at this pinpoint pass over the entire defense. MPJ catches it in stride, throws down the dunk. But let's get back to that Russell Westbrook-Jokic connection, okay? It's going to be simple pick and roll. That's what it's looking like from the outset, okay? This time, Dyson Daniels does a great job of shifting around the screen. So Russell Westbrook is going to see that and cross over in the other direction. As he does that, you got to make the big commit because we know that Russell Westbrook is a threat to just simply explode to the basket even at this age. So the big has to commit, and there's the pocket pass to Nikola Jokic. It's so good running the pick and roll between these two. This time, look at how Russell Westbrook's bringing the ball up, knowing that the great barrier thief of Dyson Daniels is here, trying to steal it. He's keeping the dribble small, controlled, below knee height for the most part, small dribbles, okay? And as the play's unfolding, the play is Jokic screens here, MPJ comes up, but while that's happening, Brown screens for Jokic, and Jokic will get a post up over here. That's the play that they're running. As that happens, Russ is seeing that this isn't on because MPJ is being denied, But look how he uses his left hand, uses the right hand to create more space between Dyson Daniels and the ball so he can't poke it free. And he uses his left hand for an on-the-money, on-time pass to Nikola Jokic right where he needs it. He turns around and he scores with ease. Once again, Westbrook to Jokic. It's a pick and roll. They're worried about Westbrook going downhill. So Larry Nance has to shift his positioning to block off that drive. Dyson Daniels is trying to recover, a bit of a miscommunication there. They both go for Westbrook, and Jokic does what Jokic does. I'll show you one more play right here, because these two as a pick-and-roll combination is actually pretty great. I mean, it does help when you've got Nikola Jokic as the roll man, but, you know, Russ is doing a lot better than Jamal Murray's been doing this year. Okay? This time again, big body screen from Jokic. Russell Westbrook is attacking downhill. Capella don't know who to go with, and a beautiful bounce pass. Nikola Jokic with the softest touch around the basket. So that's just a few examples of how great Russell Westbrook has been for the Denver Nuggets recently. Jamal Murray needs to get back refocused and back to doing what he does typically when it's the playoffs. He's one of those guys who's always a lot better in the playoffs. And I'm not suggesting that you keep starting Russell Westbrook over Jamal Murray when Jamal's healthy, and they won't do that because they gave Jamal a max contract, and no one gives you a max contract to sit on the bench. So that's not going to happen. But it is nice that Denver has this option here. And the thing is, we talked about this on the podcast. There's those stats that say Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. The Denver Nuggets are the best team in the NBA when Jokic is on, and when he's off, they're the worst team in the NBA. A lot of that has to do with the fact that Jokic plays the bulk of his minutes with the starters. So now with this synergy between Jokic and Westbrook, I'm wondering if you can give Jamal Murray, when he's healthy, more minutes with the bench group to help you stay afloat and not get beaten so badly in those non-Jokic minutes. Is that going to be what gets the Denver Nuggets out from the 7th or 8th seed up into the top 4, maybe even 5th seed? Because as great as Jokic is, and as great as these numbers are, you can't tell me he's the MVP if he's the 7th or 8th seed, because that's what we said last year when people said Luka should be the MVP, but he's the 8th seed up until late in the season. So the Denver Nuggets have got to get more wins on the board. And this connection between Russell Westbrook and Nikola Jokic is fantastic. And what I love is, you know, when Russ was on the Lakers, they all blamed him for everything. Then the Lakers lost to the Hawks. Then Russ went and played against the Hawks, locked up Trae Young, had an extremely efficient game, and did his thing. So I think Laker fans especially, but most people, most NBA fans need to apologize to Russell Westbrook, because he's on an extremely valuable contract right now for the production he's given you for the deal that he signed. Shout out to Russ, man. Shout out to the Brody. Anyway, let me know in the comments what other breakdowns you want to see. Hope you like this one. It was nice and quick today. And I'll see you guys, hopefully, in the next video. Get buckets.